Yes, now we continue from where we left off. Look at the back in the normal render section. We had this Petra part. When you click delete on the Petra part, this rendering starts. But for some of our friends, we are Petra, it doesn't start. Friends, if your graphics card is insufficient, the dotted lines here will not be visible. These dotted lines show whether Petra is working or not. If this is off, it means Petra is not working for you guys, so you need to get it on the screen like this. Now I've returned to the library section, and I've gone to the surface part of the Mega Thicken library. I need to select the concrete section in the surface part. Look, the concrete section is here. I'm entering here because I want to select a part where the concrete is dense. Friends, in the concrete section, there are the coatings that I previously created, obtained, and downloaded, marked in the heart section. From here, I can drag the coating I want and drop it here. As you can see, it looks like this. We've created a texture like this on the surface, and I'll show you all the settings for these, friends. Right now, we're just doing texture testing, or on the columns. You can have a texture like this. When you want, look, you can have a texture like this on the columns. Or if you want a texture like this in the background, it will look like this, friends. We will proceed by changing these. Now, here is something different. There are sections. If you want textures like this on the floor or the wall, you can use these. Look, it could be a texture like this. When you select this texture, if you want to make changes to the texture, the active texture will be visible on the panel on the right. From this section, you can activate the dirtiness from the top part. Look, you can activate it to be dirty, and from here, you can change the amount of light that falls on it. Friends, we can add a bit of dirtiness with the amount of dirt here. We can add a bit of moisture and dirt. We can adjust the size of the texture with the scale section here. There's no need for the texture to be too large. The rotation section also shows 0. If you set the rotation to 90 here, the texture will turn to the other side, friends. That's an important part. The current brightness level is set by Ragnos. It has 50% brightness. If you want it to be very bright, look, just like in the places where the sun hits, you can increase or decrease this brightness. Normally, this area comes with 50% brightness. This is the situation. When we look at it again like this, we can change the surface textures from those sections over there. As you can see, I have the ability to change these parts here as I wish. Friends, I can continue by making adjustments like this for the floor. There could be a situation like this on the floor. You can also make a different texture setting on the swords. This kind of texture setting could be like this, friends, similar to concrete. As you can see, we have some pots over here. As you can see, I'm throwing something like this to them, friends. This could be a section like this, or this could be such a section, or if you want to do the same closure, when you select these doors, you can hold this and drop it here. As you can see, a broken texture has formed here, friends, and over here we have the outer part of a door. If you want to adjust the darkness of the texture here, you can darken the selected texture by pressing the white icon here and adjusting it from this section. As you can see, like this. Or, if you want to select the texture here with the dropper and increase the reflection settings of that texture, you can do this with the roughness value or the metallic value. Just like it is here, since it has a coating on it, the roughness and shine values that I have made here will be visible here. Friends, the texture parts, this texture part might be a bit small. When I select this texture part, I can enlarge them a bit with scale. It will look nicer. When you click on the world space section here, it adjusts the texture according to the current size, according to the scale, guys. But the first texture I applied was like this. It became the ideal texture.